Modern football is a machine built on absolute control. At the highest level, the sport is dominated by sanitized media training, hyper-professionalism, and managers who demand total submission to the system. Zlatan Ibrahimović spent his entire career as a glitch in that machine. As a teenager, he already refused to play by the rules of the hierarchy. When Arsenal's legendary manager Arsene Wenger invited him in for a trial, Zlatan famously looked one of the game's greatest icons in the eye and told him, "I don't do trials." He brought that same defiance to his own locker rooms. He didn't just compete, he fought. He punched his own teammates, broke a colleague's ribs, and regularly leveled aggressive insults at anyone who dared question him. By any standard of modern sports management, a player who actively attacks his own squad and ignores tactical instructions should have been an outcast, filtered out of the elite game long before reaching the top. Yet the opposite happened. Ibrahimović became one of the 5 most prolific scorers of the century, winning over 30 trophies while treating the world's most prestigious clubs as his personal stage. To understand how he survived while breaking every rule of the sport, we have to look at the series of contradictions that allowed Zlatan to exist when the system said he shouldn't. His journey began in a rough district of Malmö, Sweden. Raised in extreme poverty, Zlatan navigated a childhood of abuse and theft, once admitting he stole bicycles just to have a way to get to training. He learned early on that aggression was his only reliable defense. He channeled that survival instinct into 2 places, the football pitch and the taekwondo dojo. By the time he went professional, he was a black belt with a physical toolkit unlike anyone else in the game. At 6'5", he had the massive, heavy frame of a traditional target man, a player usually restricted to headers and physical shielding. But his martial arts background gave him a center of gravity that seemed to defy his own height. He proved this in 2004 with a solo goal for Ajax that remains a benchmark for technical agility. He didn't use his size to bully defenders. He used his feet to weave through them with the balance of a much smaller playmaker. He was a physical contradiction, possessing the raw power of a heavyweight, yet moving with the fluid grace of a dancer. Even as a superstar, he remained volatile. At Ajax, he threatened to break his captain's legs. At AC Milan, a training ground fight with Oguchi Onyewu turned so violent that Zlatan left the pitch with a broken rib. His refusal to conform peaked at Barcelona. When Pep Guardiola tried to move him to the wing to accommodate Lionel Messi, Zlatan screamed at his manager in the locker room, telling him he had no courage and had bought a Ferrari only to drive it like a Fiat. Usually, this level of disruption rots a team from the inside, but for Zlatan, it worked. Every major club taking a risk on his explosive personality was rewarded with trophy after trophy. He secured titles across Italy, Spain, and France, stacking up honors with a consistency that silenced his critics. This worked because Zlatan's aggression wasn't just aimless lashing out, it was an obsession with winning that bordered on the fanatical. He intimidated his teammates into matching his own impossible standards, essentially bullying his squads into becoming champions. Yet, for all his domestic dominance, the sport's most coveted prize, the Champions League, stayed just out of reach. The timing of his transfers was almost cosmically cruel. He left Inter Milan to join Barcelona to win the trophy. That year, Inter won it. He then left Barcelona for AC Milan. The very next season, Barcelona won it again. As the years passed, most expected the physical toll of his playstyle to catch up with him. In professional football, elite strikers are generally expected to decline and retire by their mid-30s. Instead, Zlatan moved to the Premier League at age 35, joining Manchester United. In a league supposed to be too physical for an aging player, he scored 17 goals in a single season and won 3 trophies. After a stint in the United States that looked like a final farewell, he returned to AC Milan at 38. He helped lead them to their first league title in over a decade, eventually scoring his final professional goal at the age of 41. He never managed to lift the Champions League trophy, but he managed something arguably more difficult. He managed to stay at the very top of the game until his body literally wouldn't let him continue. The ego and the violence were never separate from Zlatan's success. They were the tools he used to survive Malmö, and he refused to put them down even when he reached the pinnacle of global stardom. This made him fundamentally incompatible with the quiet, corporate professionalism expected of modern athletes. He was too loud, too aggressive, and too unpredictable for the systems he played in. But that incompatibility is exactly why he became a legend. In an era where players are often accused of being overmanaged and robotic, Zlatan was a reminder of the power of raw, unfiltered personality. Ultimately, Zlatan's career proved that you don't always have to change to fit the world. If you are good enough and your will is strong enough, you can force the world to change for you.